Welcome everyone to the AFC Virtual Travel Show coming to you live from San Diego, California. Few announcements before we start. If you're having technical difficulties during the show, there's a button at the top of your screen to reconnect. On the right side of your screen, there's a button with 3 dots that'll bring your view to full screen. And if you get disconnected during the show, we'll send out a recording a few days after to your email address. But we'll go ahead and begin. My name's Reece, and I'm the marketing rep for AFC Vacations. I've just actually returned from a recent tour doing the Great Trains and Grand Canyons as tour manager. And I had the pleasure of meeting several AFC travelers, and I'm looking forward to sharing some of the insights from that tour along with the numerous others I'll be talking about today. On today's show, I'll be discussing the top selling destinations with AFC for the first half of 2022. And as well, the 2 new departures we're talking about today, the Hawaii 3 Islands and Washington, D.C. Cherry Blossoms. We have a great lineup for 2022 tours and cruises, and I'm excited to share them. So let's get started. Let's first touch on what AFC Vacations is all about, and that's real people and real service. Our team of travel professionals have been with us for quite some time, some of them over 20 years. They know our passengers, our products, and our service levels, and they're outstanding at helping you plan and experience the many destinations we offer. AFC means affordable first class. In everything we do, we focus on the best possible experience and the best value for your tours. We've been in business 40 years in 2022 and are excited for another 40 years plus. So what's different in travel now? At this time, there's a U.S. federal requirement that masks are worn on transportation, such as airlines and motor coaches. All of our tours require face masks to be worn on the motor coaches at all times. We're also seeing a lot more cleaning protocols put in place at hotels, restaurants, and onboard motor coaches. We're looking at the probability of going to vaccination requirements in order to travel next year, as many vendors, hotels, restaurants, and so forth are implementing some of those requirements. But as of now, we require either a vaccination, a negative COVID test within 72 hours, or proof of recovery for 2021. Also, international travel requires proof of vaccination, and Europe is now making it easier to travel to a number of Western European countries through an online conversion of your U.S. vaccination card. And as I talk to AFC travelers from all over the country, the one thing that's come up most often is the significance of the home airport pickup service. We've been providing pickup from your hotel to the airport and back for over 25 years, and it continues to separate us from our competitors. It keeps you from worrying about where to park, what time you need to leave, or any of the other concerns you might have getting to and from the airport. So we take care of all of it for you. Our tours are inclusive packages. That includes airfare along with the pickup service. You have the choice between your closest airport or the airport of your preference. We can also assist friends and family to join you from anywhere in the U.S., along with the option to upgrade to business or first class tickets. And we provide a value with our tours and try to save you as much money as possible with our many discounts. Whether it's our early booking discount up to $350 per person savings, our single supplement discount that can save single travelers up to 50% off their supplement, or referring a friend who isn't on our mailing list to travel with AFC. These trips can be a great deal to you, your family, and friends. We offer variety in both destination as well as travel styles, whether it's a tour to the national parks by motor coach, a train tour to Switzerland, or one of our many European river cruises we're offering in 2022. One of our most popular trips are our Unpack Once tours that stay the entire trip at one hotel, venturing out each day from there. And it allows you to unpack your suitcase and you don't have to touch it again till the end of the tour. There's no lack of options for our travelers. And not only are the destinations plentiful, but so are the accommodations. We stay at some of the most unique hotels around the world, including the Grand Hotel Mackinac Island. You can see that up in the upper left-hand corner. Also the Palmer House and the signature of the Courtyards, the Marriott in Sedona. And not only are our hotels unique, but so are our dining experiences. lobster feasts in New England, the New Orleans School of Cooking in Louisiana, and the Chuck Wagon supper shows in the Wild West will both feed and entertain you on your journeys. With our peace of mind travel, cancellation and travel protection are extremely important before and during your vacation. We offer an affordable and flexible travel protection plan to protect your travel experience that also offers a cancel for any reason benefit. AFC is also a member brand of USTOA, that's the United States Tour Operators Association, and that's an elite group of the 50 finest tour operators in the United States. They provide a $1 million traveler's assistance protection. As you book travel, you should make sure the operator is backed by the USTOA. And our team of tour managers are fun, knowledgeable, organized, and love what they do. It shows in their communication with our passengers and the dedication to their job. They go the extra mile to make sure your trip's enjoyable. And in many cases, we do publish which trips our tour managers run so that you can travel with the ones you connect with. And how do you book your tour? Well, you can call our 1-800 number, 1-800-369-3693. You can email april@afctours.com or visit us online, afcvacations.com, and select the Forms and Info section. And there you can fill out one of our reservations form, whether it's a domestic tour, international, or one of our cruises. And oftentimes I feel like Oprah when I do the in-person shows, giving away prizes left and right. But on our virtual shows, we do specials and offer some rewards for booking with us after the show. If you book a 2022 tour or European river cruise by Friday, October 29th, we will offer a $125 low-cost deposit for your trip. And additionally, if you book your travel protection plan at the time of your deposit, we'll take an additional $20 off. Add these on top of the other savings we offer, and you really can't beat our pricing. Again, you must use the code VTS125 for a $125 low-cost deposit by October 29th. And our trips are full of memories that will last a lifetime. You'll meet people from both your region along with all over the United States and share in the fun. These are some great photos taken by our tour managers along their trips. The one at the bottom there was taken by Deb Howard of Plymouth Rock as folks were exploring and checking out the Northeast. If you're ready to go now, these upcoming tours have plenty of passengers to operate and will be running as scheduled barring any unforeseen circumstance. You can see there are numerous trips in the next 3 to 4 months that are headed out. And our mystery tours are some of our most memorable trips, and both Deb and Chris will be running these in 2022. This is just the first half of the year, but we'll again come back and do a second half preview later on. But these trips are a huge success and sell out nearly every departure. And how do they work? When you book, you'll be advised how to pack, the average weather in the destination, and some helpful hints. About 3 weeks prior to departure, you'll be advised what time your flight leaves and on which airline. And it's always fun to tell the folks at the check-in counter, I don't know where I'm going. Once you check in, you'll get your boarding pass and find out your first destination. And the tour manager will meet you in baggage claim on arrival. And over the course of the trip, they'll reveal tour components or give you clues along the way. These are trips for folks with experience traveling through the major cities of the U.S. and different destinations, those who have a sense of adventure and those who don't need to know all the details. They're creative and fun itineraries with the seasons and weather considered. And one of our new tours for 2022, this is the Hawaii 3 Islands program, and one departure on February 22nd. And Hawaii holds a special place in my heart. It was the first real destination I traveled to outside the Pacific Northwest. When I was 5, I went to my aunt and uncle's wedding on Maui. The best man stood up and said, I'd like to make a toast. And the 5-year-old me yelled out, I love toast. In reality, it was truly the beauty and the peacefulness of the islands that captured me. The palm trees swaying in the warm breeze at night, and the fresh tropical fruit like pineapple, mango, and guava on a daily basis. And you can't forget the warm Pacific waters. Even Mark Twain once wrote, they were the loveliest fleet of islands that lies in any ocean. And nearly 70 million years ago, this chain of islands was created through volcanic activity and developed the 8 major islands of this archipelago that now includes about 132 islands, reefs, and shoals. Our tour features a fantastic overview of the 3 main islands visited with the most activities, and that's Oahu, Maui, and the Big Island of Hawaii. We arrive on Oahu, where we stay right near Waikiki Beach in Honolulu for 3 nights, and on arrival, you'll enjoy a welcome dinner with your fellow travelers. The following day, you'll head out to Pearl Harbor and learn about the events that took place on December 7th, 1941 that brought America full swing into World War II. You'll watch an unbelievable film about the USS Arizona. I had never seen this clip before until going there, and it was truly awe-inspiring. Immediately after the film, you'll board a Navy skiff, and that'll take you out to the side of the USS Arizona to pay respects to the men and women who perished in the attack. From there, you'll set off on a Honolulu city tour, and that includes Punch Bowl Crater, which is the National Cemetery of the Pacific, the state capitol, and the governor's mansion. Then the following day, enjoy a relaxing vacation day at Waikiki Beach. You can see that on the left-hand side. And then also have the opportunity to take a Circle Island tour to see the Dole Pineapple Plantation, the North Shore, which is famous for surfing, and the beauty of the outer portion of the island, including Diamond Head. The following day, you'll fly with your tour manager to Hilo on the Big Island, where you'll visit Volcanoes National Park and learn about the volcanic history and present-day activity that's still creating islands in the Pacific. Then you'll head to Black Sand Volcanic Beach, where many times you can see both green and hawksbill turtles. The sand here is made of pitch black fragments of cooled volcanic lava. Then check into your resort on the Kona coast and settle in for a 2-night stay. You'll travel to historic Kailua Kona for dinner included that night. And then while you're here, you can try a local beer by the Kona Brewing Company, which is famous for their longboard lager, or Kona coffee, which is one of the most flavorful coffees in the world due to the rich volcanic soil. Then enjoy the following day on your own to truly settle in on your vacation, or join our tour to explore the waters around Kona in search of humpback whales, spinner dolphins, and other species that travel through the Hawaiian Islands every year. From there, you'll fly to my favorite island, which is Maui, and you'll travel through this beautiful valley with some of the most lush portions of the island and see this fantastic needle, which is a 1,200-foot vegetation-covered lava remnant, and that rises from the valley floor to a height higher than the Eiffel Tower. Then you'll make your way to Lahaina, which is a quaint whaling village, and head to your resort for a 3-night stay. Then in the next morning, you'll head up above the clouds to the Haleakala Crater National Park for a stunning view of this once formidable volcano. Then enjoy a leisure day the following day and wrap up the tour with a true Hawaiian luau experience with dances that teach the story of the Polynesian culture, which made its way through the Pacific Islands. So this is a truly all-encompassing tour happening February 22nd, 9 days and 11 meals included. If you want to stay close to home and you're in the San Diego area, you can start by checking out our California Rail Discovery trip. And this, you'll start your Northern California experience with 2 nights in the city by the bay, and that's San Francisco. You'll enjoy a welcome dinner on the first night, and the following morning, a San Francisco city tour followed by a bay cruise, and that passes Alcatraz and the Golden Gate Bridge. Next, you'll head to Napa Valley, heart and soul of the California wine country, to board the Napa Valley Wine Train. And that has a fantastic 3-course gourmet lunch with dessert and coffee at the end. And wines are available by glass and bottle on board. While you eat, you'll enjoy stunning scenery as you're passing by through the Napa Valley vineyards and travel on this beautiful 1910 Pullman rail car that glides through and past the various wineries. The rail line was laid out in 1864 and was able to be kept intact because of this route. And in 1989, the first Napa Valley wine train took off. Once you disembark the train, you'll head out to a local winery for a tasting, and then make your way up to Sacramento for one night. And there you'll board the Amtrak California Zephyr train up to Truckee on the north end of Lake Tahoe, and then drive around the east side of the lake to South Lake Tahoe for a 3-night stay. From there, you'll visit both the Reno and Virginia City, Nevada, to learn how the state developed during the 1800s. You'll wrap up this tour with a paddle wheel lake cruise and farewell dinner before flying home. Then the Great Trains and Grand Canyons trip I just got back from. This is a wonderful tour, and as you can see above, there are so many different departure dates because it is truly one of our most popular tours. Whether it's February, March, April, May, all the way through October, we have so many different departure dates offered up to you. One of the great benefits of this tour is that it is a 5-night stay in one hotel, so you do get to unpack once. And the first day, you get a chance to explore this area of Sedona, uptown Sedona. We do a trolley tour, Sedona Trolley, that also features a visit to the Chapel of the Holy Cross, which is up in the hill in the Red Rocks. Then the following day, we'll take the Grand Canyon Railway from Williams up to the Grand Canyon. That was started as a route in 1901 to truly bring the first tourists up to the Grand Canyon and the South Rim. And there we'll stop at the Bright Angel Lodge, have a chance for lunch, and explore some of the rim areas, and then work our way out to the east, and then exit on the east entrance of the park, then head down towards Flagstaff for dinner, and then back to our hotel in Sedona. And we do stay at one of 3 different properties in Sedona, so a lot of great options there. Then the following day, we'll head out to Montezuma's Castle in the morning, and this is a beautiful cliff dwelling up in the hills that was discovered in the 1800s, but truly dates back to around 1100. And this is from the Sinagua people that lived both in the southern portion as well as up in Flagstaff at a higher elevation. And you can also go out from there to Jerome, which is an old mining town, Old West mining town, and now a preserved ghost town. And then hop on board the Verde Canyon Railroad. And this is a fantastic trip to explore a different rail experience. We have a first-class car on board that train, and also an open deck car. So you do get to go outside, enjoy the fresh air, and see some of the beautiful valley, really lush section of Arizona. Then we'll end that tour with a Western Steakhouse dinner and visit Old Town Scottsdale either on arrival or departure day. In our Idaho Adventure program, this is a trip that'll fly into Spokane, Washington, and head into Idaho for a 2-night stay at the Coeur d'Alene Resort. And you'll visit Wallace, Idaho, with a tour of a working silver mine, then enjoy dinner that night at the Ryder Ranch. The next day, you'll travel through the Clearwater Mountains and stop for lunch in Lewiston, then a visit to the Lewis and Clark Discovery Center to learn about the Corps of Discovery. From there, it's on to Riggins, Idaho to stay at the peaceful family-run Salmon Rapids Lodge for 2 nights. And you'll take a ride on the Salmon River jet boat to learn about the area's wildlife. Then enjoy the scenery as you work south to Sun Valley, Idaho, where you'll stay at the legendary Sun Valley Lodge. And that was a popular stop for the rich and famous who visited the ski area over the years. Bald Mountain, otherwise known as Baldy to the locals, was the first ski resort in America, founded in 1936. And not far away is the town of Ketchum, Idaho, where Ernest Hemingway is buried. Then you'll enjoy a farewell dinner that evening before flying out of Boise the following morning. Our Yellowstone and Mount Rushmore tour has 2 departure dates, June 9th and August 25th. It's an 8-day tour with 11 meals included. We'll fly into Rapid City, South Dakota, and that's the hub for the Black Hills, and start your journey with a cowboy cookout dinner show. Then visit Mount Rushmore National Memorial, which is on the land of the Lakota Sioux, and from there head to Crazy Horse Memorial, dedicated to the chief of the Lakota and their people. After an included dinner, head back to Mount Rushmore to see the lighting ceremony at night. The following day, head west to Deadwood and learn about the true Wild West with stories of Bill Hickok and Calamity Jane. And en route to Sheridan, Wyoming, you'll stop at Devil's Tower National Monument and learn about the 4 theories of how the tower was formed from igneous rock. Most scientists agree that magma was the main structural component, and it was created 50 million years ago, but how is still to be determined. Stay a night in Sheridan before crossing the Bighorn Mountains to Cody, Wyoming, and there you'll stop at the Buffalo Bill Cody Center. And that's where you can learn about the Native American culture, Western art, and history. Then make your way through Yellowstone National Park from east to west, and stay 2 nights out in West Yellowstone, Montana. Then the next day is a whole day to explore the park, making stops at the Old Faithful Inn for lunch and time to see the geyser erupt. And then also included is a visit to Yellowstone Lake and Yellowstone Canyon. Then from Yellowstone, we'll travel south through the Grand Tetons National Park on your way to Jackson Hole, Wyoming for a night. Continue on south to Salt Lake City for a city tour, and that features Temple Square, the famous Tabernacle, the state capitol, and the University of Utah. Then enjoy a farewell dinner before returning home the following day. As we work our way out to the east, Chicago All Access is another great Unpack Once tour that's based in the heart of Chicago at the Palmer House by Hilton. And you'll get a chance to spend 5 nights in the city, enjoy a city tour on day 2, and that city tour features a visit to the Willis Tower, as well as Magnificent Mile, and that's Chicago's premier commercial district. Then on day 3, you'll take a tour to learn about the history of Chicago's gangsters of the 1920s and 30s, like Al Capone and John Dillinger. And that afternoon, you'll also tour Wright's studio, where Frank Lloyd Wright lived and worked. Then spend day 4 in Racine, Wisconsin, where you'll visit the research and admin buildings of S.C. Johnson Wax, whose factory produces Windex, Glade, and a number of other daily products. Afterwards, you'll get a chance to see the Johnson Mansion, which was completed in 1939 by Frank Lloyd Wright. Then tour Wrigley Field, and that's the home of the Chicago Cubs baseball team. After that, you'll take an architectural tour of Chicago by River Cruise and learn about some of the unique designs of the city's buildings before a free afternoon in the city. Before returning home, you'll tour a 500-acre estate of the editor of the Chicago Tribune newspaper called Cantigny Park. And Niagara Falls and the Grand Hotel, this is a trip that just came back a couple of days ago. What we do on this tour is fly into Detroit, then spend 2 nights in Dearborn, Michigan, which is home of Henry Ford. From there, you'll get a chance to visit the River Rouge truck plant, where they build the F-150s, and also the Henry Ford Museum. Then as you work your way north up to Mackinac Island, we'll stay 2 nights at the beautiful Grand Hotel on Mackinac. We'll take a 15-minute ferry ride over to the island, and that's where you'll get picked up by horse and carriage and taken over to your hotel. The following day, we'll do a city tour by horse and carriage up to the West Bluff and get a chance to see some of the beautiful Victorian homes on the island. And then as we head south, we'll work our way down to Frankenmuth and stay 1 night there. Frankenmuth is a Bavarian-themed village and also has one of the largest Christmas stores in the entire country. We'll continue to the east, making our way out to Niagara Falls for 2 nights and get a chance to do the Maid of the Mist cruise. We'll also see the IMAX movie and focus a lot on the falls themselves. And then we'll fly out from Buffalo on your return home. And Brandywine, Philadelphia in the Amish country. This is a reworked version of our original tour. And this allows us to stay all in one hotel in Philadelphia for 5 nights. So from there, we'll branch out to the different sites every day. We'll start the tour with a Philadelphia City tour, and that incorporates Independence Hall and the National Constitution Museum. Then we'll head out to Valley Forge National Historic Park and 2 of the DuPont mansions. That's Longwood Gardens and Nemours Mansion. Deb Howard and Jim Carr just got back from that tour. And as you can see in the photo, they took a great shot in front of the Rocky statue in Philadelphia. But this is a really fantastic tour that also incorporates Hershey, Pennsylvania, which is home of chocolate, the Hershey Chocolate Company. And we'll do the Hershey Museum as well as a chocolate tasting. Then our Cape Cod departure. This is one of our most popular tours, and especially on the East Coast. So this is a 7-day program with 9 meals included, and as you can see, there are a number of departure dates available for you. We'll fly into Boston and make that first travel day an easy one by staying right there in Boston. The following morning, we'll do a Boston City tour with Faneuil Hall Marketplace, and then work our way out to Plymouth and see Plymouth Rock and the Plymouth Plantation, and then the recreated ship, the Mayflower 2. Then we'll work our way out to Yarmouth, staying 5 nights there and using that as our hub for the Cape. We'll work our way up to Provincetown, Nantucket, Martha's Vineyard, and Newport to see the Breakers Mansions. And then also incorporated in that is the lobster farewell dinner. So you learn about how to crack a lobster by hand. It's quite a great experience. One of our brand new tours coming up this year is Washington, D.C. Cherry Blossoms. And that's a 6-day program with 8 meals included from April 6th. And so we'll start this program with a visit to Arlington National Cemetery. And in the background, you can see the Air Force Memorial. But this is a fantastic representation and area to pay your respects to all the men and women who have died in the service. So over 400,000 are buried here. Also get a chance to see the changing of the guard at one of the memorials there. From there, we'll go over to the White House Visitor Center and get a chance to see the different exhibits there and learn all about the different presidents. Then it's on to Ford Theater, where President Abraham Lincoln was shot and assassinated. You'll get a chance to see the museum down below as well as the theater itself. And also incorporated in this tour is an illumination tour. One of the best ways to see the different memorials all throughout Washington, D.C. is at night when they're lit up. Whether it's the Vietnam War Memorial, which has that beautiful wall in granite, the Lincoln statue, or the Thomas Jefferson Memorial, which you can see on the left-hand side. Then we work our way out to George Washington and Martha Washington's estate in Mount Vernon and get a full tour there. And then we end this trip by a visit to Annapolis, where we learn all about the U.S. Navy and the Naval Academy. So this is a great tour, April 6th for the cherry blossoms. It's a great time of year to go out to Washington, D.C. We also incorporate some of the Smithsonian's on this departure. And Magnolia Trails in the heart of Texas. This is a brand new pop-up tour that we just started this year, but plenty of departure dates for next year. So we'll start by flying into Dallas-Fort Worth for 2 nights and do a Dallas City tour, which features AT&T Stadium, home of the Dallas Cowboys. Also on the city tour, we'll pass by the Mavericks Arena, Dallas Mavericks. Then we'll see some of the historic JFK sites, like the Texas Book Depository, and then visit the George W. Bush Presidential Library that's on the SMU campus. We'll go from there down to Fort Worth, stopping for lunch at the Fort Worth Stockyards Historic District. And every day, twice a day, they do a cattle drive, and so you'll have a chance to view that. Then we'll head on down to the South Fork Ranch, known as the largest ranch. From there, it's over to Waco, and we'll stay 2 nights in Waco, including a city tour that features a lot of the sites of the HGTV series Fixer Upper. And one of those areas is the Magnolia Market at the Silos. And this is a 1950s cotton silo that was turned into retail and markets. One of the newer companies that came in is the Silos Baking Company that bought a location there in 2016. And it's had a line out the door ever since. Then we'll visit the Dr. Pepper Museum to learn all about the soft drink industry and end that tour with the Texas Barbecue Farewell Dinner. Florida and the Keys is a really great departure, especially that time of year. We have one departure coming up February 23rd, and then another in the fall with November 9th. But we'll start out by flying into Tampa and then head down to Sarasota for 2 nights. On this tour, you'll get to see the John Ringling of the Ringling Brothers Mansion, the Art Gallery, and the Circus Museum. Then we'll head down to Fort Myers, and that's where we'll get to see the Henry Ford and Thomas Edison Winter Estates. They were basically neighbors. And one of my favorite aspects of this tour is the airboat ride in the Everglades. And that's where you see a number of different wildlife species, whether it's alligator or different cranes and birds all throughout the Everglades. So that's a really great experience there. We'll continue on down from the Everglades and stop in Miami, as well as Fort Lauderdale for 2 nights, doing a Fort Lauderdale Canal cruise. Then we'll take the Overseas Highway out to Key West and do a Key West tour that incorporates the Hemingway House, the Truman Winter White House, and the Contour Train. So really great departure, 7 days, chance to get out during the winter or the fall and see some of this beautiful state. Then our New Orleans and the Mississippi Gulf Coast tour. Now on all of our New Orleans programs, we incorporate the New Orleans School of Cooking. And this is a fantastic cooking demonstration as well as a fantastic meal to start your tour. We'll do a French Quarter walking tour. And in most cases, we stay at the Maison du Puy in the French Quarter. Then we'll also do a full New Orleans city tour that incorporates the Garden District. We'll also incorporate Café du Monde, which is famous for their beignets, and then head out to Natchez and do the steamboat cruise along the Natchez River. We'll visit Mardi Gras World to learn about one of the most popular events in all of the South, and then over to Bellingrath Gardens and Home. We'll stay 3 nights in Biloxi and incorporate a tour of the Gulf Islands National Seashore. So that's a beautiful drive along the coastline. One of the major components of this trip is the Biloxi Shrimp Boat Cruise, and that way you learn about the entire shrimp industry, how they're brought in, how they're cooked, and so forth. So a really great trip, February 13th as well as November 6th. Then Savannah and Charleston. We'll start out by flying into Charleston for 3 nights and head out to the plantations of South Carolina. As we work our way south, we'll visit Beaufort in South Carolina as well and get a chance to do a city tour there. We'll continue on south to Savannah for 2 nights, Savannah, Georgia, and continue south further to Jekyll Island. This is an 8-day program, and our one departure for the year is March 9th. That's with Deb Howard, but this is a really fantastic way to see the Southeast. And our America's Music Cities tour. This has 2 departures for next year. That's April 21st and October 13th. We'll fly into St. Louis, get a chance to do a city tour featuring the St. Louis Arch. From there, head down to Branson, Missouri for 2 nights. And Branson's known as the show capital of the U.S. And we'll have several shows incorporated, as well as the Branson Belle Lake Cruise on Table Rock Lake. So it's both a dinner cruise as well as a dinner show. Then we'll continue down to the Little Rock Library for the Presidential Library of Bill Clinton. And then it's over to Memphis. So we go from the show capital over to Memphis, which is home of the blues, and we'll do dinner on Beale Street for 1 night. We'll do a city tour of Memphis as well, and then head over to home of country music, which is Nashville. On the way out, we'll see the Elvis Presley's Graceland. And then once we arrive in Nashville, we'll do a city tour with the Country Music Hall of Fame, as well as the Grand Ole Opry. In our New Orleans and the Cajun Country tour. This is a fantastic trip based primarily around New Orleans and Natchez. So we'll stay 3 nights in New Orleans, including Baton Rouge, which is the location for Louisiana State University. And that is one of the best schools when it comes to supporting their athletics, great tailgating, and so forth. This is a trip that has 2 departures, March 20th and October 16th. Again, a lot of the components of the New Orleans and Mississippi Gulf, but also incorporating more of Louisiana as a whole. So we'll visit the Court of 2 Sisters and also the New Orleans School of Cooking for dinners, a New Orleans city tour, and a Mississippi River steamboat cruise. Then we'll get a chance to see the Longview Mansion and Gardens, do a Natchez Bayou cruise, and then see the Martin Accordion Factory tour and demo. Then one of the most popular experiences on this trip is the Tabasco Factory. As we work our way through the year, one of our upcoming international departures is our Passion Play with Bavaria and Austria for 2022. And this has 3 different departures for next summer. That's July, August, and September. We'll start out by flying into Munich and stay there for 2 nights. Then we'll work our way from Munich, doing a city tour, then down to Neuschwanstein Castle for a photo stop. We'll head over to Oberammergau for one night, and that's the home of the Passion Play. And we do have reserved seating for the Passion Play. It's broken down into two sections, and I'll go into more detail on that. But Oberammergau is right in the heart of the Alps, so beautiful scenery all around us, and we'll be staying right around town. Then we'll work our way over to Salzburg for a city tour. And on our way to Vienna, we'll stop for a Danube cruise, get a chance to explore a little bit of the Danube River. Then in Vienna, we'll do a city tour, as well as a chance to see the Schönbrunn Palace. And then we'll extend that tour for anyone who would like to add the optional 2-night extension up to Prague. So it's a really great all-encompassing tour of a little bit of Eastern Europe, as well as the famous Passion Play that only happens once every 10 years. So it's very important, and it does sell out quite quickly. And AFC seats are in category 2. That's the outskirt area in yellow. The play itself is broken down into two parts, and the part 1 is from 2:30 to 5:30 in the afternoon. We'll stop for dinner, and that's served at a local restaurant near town, and then return back for the second portion, which is 8 o'clock to about 10:30 in the evening. So really great experience to see one of the most popular events in all of the world, really. Now, one of our other departures that's happening this year, and we still have some space left, but it is going quickly actually, is Switzerland and Christmas markets on the Rhine River. And this is a fantastic 9-day trip from November 30th to December 8th. We'll fly into Zurich and stay one night in Lucerne, and we'll do a Lucerne walking tour on that departure. Then from Lucerne, we'll work our way up to Strasbourg and incorporate a city tour there. That's where we'll board the MS Amadeus Imperial, and that's a brand new ship that just came out in 2020. We'll have 6 nights aboard that ship, and on board we include wines and beer with dinner. We also have free Wi-Fi included on board the ship. And in Strasbourg, we'll do a city tour and incorporate the Christmas market there, which is right next to the beautiful cathedral. We'll work our way up to Speyer, which is a small little gem along the Rhine, get a chance to do a walking tour and the market there. As we work our way north along the Rhine, we'll stop in Rudesheim, a little bit of a walking tour, as well as get a chance to taste one of their famous specialty coffees in Rudesheim. As we work north, we'll cut off the Rhine for a day and over to the Moselle River. And that's where we'll visit the town of Cochem. And it's a beautiful town on the Moselle River, famous for Riesling wine, as well as the beautiful castle up on the hill. We'll wrap up that river cruise up in Cologne with a walking tour of Old Town, as well as a full tour of the interior of the Cologne Cathedral. And right outside of that cathedral is also the Christmas market. So 6 Christmas markets in all. This is a 9-day trip. November 30th, you'll arrive December 1st and all the way through December 8th. So again, how would you make a reservation? You can call our 1-800 number, email april@afctours.com, or visit us at afcvacations.com and go to the section for forms and reservation forms. Remember, when you do book by October 29th, to use the code VTS125 for that low-cost discount deposit. So these are a couple of the discounts we offer: the $125 low-cost deposit, as well as $20 off when you book and pay for your travel protection with that deposit. So again, use the code VTS125. Thank you all for attending today. Please email any questions to april@afctours.com, and we really appreciate your time.